Lately, we've been having loads of power supplies released, and I think it's quite interesting. Not because it's just a power supply and it's just hidden anywhere inside the case, but regardless of that, we have, advantages when we're talking about the cooling and being silent and no coil whine and similar stuff. And the most important thing, fully modular. And I've been seeing, well, basically it's been like this: gold, platinum, titanium power supplies are all fully modular. So in general, most scenarios, right? So right here we have BeQuiet Power Zone 2, and it has three variations. You have a 750, 850, and 1000 watts, 80 plus platinum, and Cybenetics platinum. So this is outstanding. Now this power supply right here is the first power supply from BeQuiet that comes with 140 millimeter fan, which comes to a point, and as you already know, when we're talking about BeQuiet fans, they are, well, not entirely inaudible, but keeping this power supply in the low decibel range, I would say that is quite outstanding in all load scenarios. As you know, and as I stated in the past overviews of the power supplies, this is going to be an overview, and we're just going to go through some specs and gonna share my thoughts about it when we're talking about the power supply, general specifications, and of course the cables, because the cables are also important, specifically in today's world where we're going with custom sleeved cables just to make that build pop entirely. So I'm gonna go immediately into that. This is the 24-pin cable, and its majority of the cable is slim, which is great because it gives you an option for a nice and tidy cable management at the back. This is one of the main things. You can bend it easily. And one more thing, if that's not enough, we go with, this is PCIe cable. You have this 12-pin cable that connects directly to your power supply, which is kind of regular for BeQuiet power supplies. And then you have two 8-pin cables going out. So in RTX 3000 series and 4000 series, where they stated you have to go with separated PCI Express cable, you can actually connect these because they have enough power going through those, so you don't have to worry about that. And finally, what I stated in my past power supply overview, where the cable was braided but not entirely, and we had some issues, well, not issues with power delivery, but just with visual aspect. We have the 12V HPWR. Now, this one is flexible here at the top, but you have a zip tie right here. You have that rubber grommet that is basically for connection, and then you have this part which is kind of braided. Then we go to this part where it's 90-degree angle 12V 2x6 cable, and it looks quite nice. This part right here from the rubber grommet to the top looks quite nice. Everything here at the bottom, I mean, the zip tie, it is used to group the cables, but for the visual aspect, it isn't. Still, when you take into consideration that extenders and other cables in that sense cost quite a lot, you can definitely go with this one. I mean, this is just the small segment here, but at least all other cables are nice. I mean, this is flexible as well. See? And it's already done by 90 degrees, so you don't have to worry about that part, and you don't have to worry about those cases that, well, they can accommodate an RTX 4000, 5000 series, but then again, you have to have, 3 centimeters of cable length straight from the GPU and not touching the tempered glass so it doesn't bend additionally. Well, it's solved with this one. It's a solid cable in general. It's flexible at the top, and that's really good. And it's okay. The last power supply that I talked had all cables like this. So yeah, it is what it is. But I'm not going to discuss that too much. It's just a regular cable. If you don't like these in general for all power supplies, you can always go with custom extenders, as I always do, and yeah, just solve that issue with the cables. But let's go more into details, because this power supply is quite interesting, because this is, as I stated, the first power supply that features 140 millimeter fan, which is specifically designed for this power zone 2. So what we have here is PureWings 3 140 for quiet and efficient cooling, which definitely BeQuiet stands out for quiet cooling, but not because of the fan only. It stands out because this is BeQuiet's first power supply with semi-passive cooling and post-ventilation feature, because the semi-passive cooling is designed that allows power zone 2 to turn off the fan until a certain load or temperature is reached, of course, resulting in quiet and efficient cooling. And after cooling down, the fan runs on for 2 to 5 minutes to avoid frequent and annoying starts and stops. So highly efficient and specifically designed Pure Wings 3. Now, when we go with compatibility and convenience, as I said, we have 90-degree angled 12V 2x6 connector. It's ATX 3.1 form factor with 4 PCIe connectors for current and next-gen GPUs. Of course, it's full PCIe 5.1 and PCIe 6+2 compatibility, with both cables in scope for delivery and handles massive power excursions. When we're talking about engineering and efficiency, we have very high efficiency where it goes up to 94.2%. It has LLC technology and up to 100 watts continuous power. We have modular cable management, which simplifies, of course, the installation. But I'm saying this for you guys that are checking out fully modular power supplies for the first time, and it does reduce annoying cable clutter at the back, but also at the front as well, because you can organize everything at the back quite nicely, use those zip ties, velcro ties if the case has it, and just reorganize it properly, only using the cable that goes directly to your components. The interesting thing is that this Power Zone 2 comes with 10-year manufacturer warranty. It also has advanced voltage regulations and stability. Then we have unique look with quite interesting design, because we have openings at the back where the power connector goes and the switch is. Then we have the same mesh side where the fan is, and we have actually the Power Zone 2 written on it. We have one massive high performance 12V rail. And the interesting part is the price. So in Croatia, what I found is 189 euros. Amazon is 178 euros. When we take into consideration the 1000 watts power supply, US 189.90, euros 189.90, and we have pounds 179.99. When we're talking about 850, we have $169, 169 euros, and 159 pounds. And for 750 watts, 149 euros dollars and 139 pounds. In addition to everything what we have when we're talking about connections, of course, you have two connectors here on the power supply for the motherboard, so that's 24 pin. Then we have the P8. Now the P8 is for the CPU, as well as the other P8 a bit below to SATA drives. Now the drives are connected with a flat 5-pin connector right here, and you usually have it with either full SATA or SATA combination with Molex. Then we have two PCIe, which basically spreads into 4 PCIe 8-pin connectors, and right at the bottom PCIe 5.1, or actually 600 watts 12V 2x6 connector. All in all, I think it's still a solid power supply. It's a bit heavier than usual, but we have it in a more compact design. The thing is, when we're talking about the quiet fan and everything all together, what I mentioned, of course, the fan starts to spin when the certain load and temperature reaches on the power supply. I was actually expecting to have a button to turn it on or off, like 0 fan RPM or something similar to that, but it doesn't have that. It's specifically at the back with the power cord, well, power connector, on-off switch, and no button for doing that. So everything is integrated inside, and that definitely works properly without a doubt. This Power Zone 2 will be used in a build coming right up, which has one case that I haven't shown on the channel, and one AIO that I think you guys will definitely, it will be quite interesting for you guys to check it out, because it's first for BeQuiet. So stay tuned and check out this power supply as well. In the links, you'll find the 750, 850, and 1000 watts power supply, so you can, try to regulate what's perfect for your build if you're in looks for a BeQuiet power supply. Of course, they have others as well, but this is the latest one that they released. And if this gave you an idea or anything just similar to that, maybe just keep on watching the content. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, click the notification bell, and I'll see you quite shortly in a new one. Thanks, bye bye.